need be, and they've got, of course,
Matt Reynolds.
oh, you don't think they're gonna re-sign?
Who? Yeah.
Not re-sign. They need to,
Tender Ruben Tejada.
yeah, tender for him.
It seems like they're pretty certain going with the Flores Herrera outfield in, for the near future.
You mean
Sorry,
middle
that's
infield?
middle infield. What am I talking about?
So
Of course,
the Mets, that still leaves the Mets needing a bat. I think a lot of people have been talking about getting a left-handed center fielder to platoon with Juan Lagares. In
Or
theory, not a bad
Cespedes.
idea. Yeah, I still think they should think about signing Cespedes, but that doesn't seem to be very likely at the moment.
One more thing. I think the awards were announced. Terry Collins sadly came third. He was one of the three finalists, though. I can't believe that Mike Matheny came ahead of him, ahead of Collins. I really thought Collins deserved the award. I don't think any of the other managers had to go through what Terry Collins had to go through. I think only Mets fans that have followed the team throughout the course of the season has really understood what Collins has had to face. Because, the Cubs were an up-and-coming team. Of course, Joe Madden did a great job. They weren't, again, the Mets and the Cubs were up-and-coming teams, not expected to make the playoffs this year. Both managers managed to do it. And, of course, Terry Collins and the Mets defeated the Cubs in the NLCS. But postseason, of course, does not go into consideration when the manager of the years when the managers are voted for. Of course, Joe Madden, the Cubs, they had more wins than the Mets did. So I think that probably had a big part of it. Of course, the Cardinals had reached 100 wins.
Yeah.
And Terry Collins, but again, Terry Collins.
Interestingly, Joe Madden used to serve under Terry. Joe Madden used to serve under Terry Collins, so
Wow.
he's one of his disciples, and so the two of them are close.
Yeah.
I think what gave Joe Madden the nod is that the impression is that Joe Madden put his young players in a position to succeed, and so he was smart in how he utilized his players, in what situation he played them, and so he maximized their chance of success.
But of course, we can't count out the Cubs. They were impressive this year. Terry Collins had to deal with Matt Harvey.
Yeah.
His whole saga, he kept the team together beautifully, and I think they came out of it stronger. And much of it has to do with Terry Collins.
Terry Collins won me over this year. Sometimes you question some of the moves he's made, but in the bullpen moves that he makes during the game, but I think by and large he made pretty much the right moves.
And a lot of people were
this year.
criticizing him of the postseason, how he managed his bullpen in the postseason, and that was another main reason, of course, on Facebook. And a lot of their comments on Facebook say the main reason for not voting for Terry Collins was his misuse of the bullpen in the postseason. And as I said earlier, the postseason doesn't count in Manager of the Year voting, and he did beat Joe Madden and the Cubs.
Oh. Hey, Jamie, I think, why don't you carry on? I have to say goodbye to our guests here.
Okay. So, of course, that had a big factor in it. Yeah, so I really don't think that, his misuse of the bullpen was that big of an argument. He also had to manage Wilmer Flores and the no trade during the season. Of course, kept them together nicely. His comments with the media were great. That really struck me right there. I mean, him not winning really. He had to manage an offense. He kept the Mets afloat at 500 even with his offense with John Mayberry Jr. batting cleanup. I mean, he's not with the team anymore, but keeping a team at 500 with that lineup that Terry Collins was provided with is really impressive. So, what can I say? Oh well. What's done is done. So that's that. Of course, the upcoming big news that everyone's anticipating for is when and where Aroldis Chapman will get traded to. That that's what's been that's what's been the word around, rumors about where Chapman will end up. He certainly won't be with the Reds by opening day. They're hoping to trade him before the winter meetings, which is when we hope that a lot of starters will start signing. Of course, I think the free agent market, at least for starters, will start moving once the big free agent starters start accepting their deal. Like last year, John Lester accepted his mega deal with the Cubs, and instantly,
Who are the top starters available?
Zach Greinke, David Price, Johnny Cueto.
Those are the top three.
Those are some pretty good starters.
Jordan Zimmerman.
And Jordan Zimmerman, of course. Yeah.
And there's Maeda from Japan, who's the leading pitcher in Japan.
Oh, speaking of Japan, the Minnesota Twins won the bid on Byung-ho. No, what's that guy's name?
From Korea.
Yeah.
But Maeda is pretty exciting. Maeda, from what I hear from my Japanese friends, he's probably one step below Yu Darvish.
Gio says
better than
Iwakuma.
Tanaka.
I think Iwakuma is the second-tier starter.
Iwakuma?
I think he's a free agent, of course, but I think, he's not up there. I think he's the second-tier starter.
From what I hear, Maeda is comparable to Tanaka, except Tanaka was more abused in Japan, and Maeda is fresher, so
okay.
He should be Tanaka without the injuries. So that's pretty interesting.
Byung-ho Park, yeah.
Byung-ho Park, power hitter, right?
Yeah, power hitter. He had 50-something home runs. I think he's going to be better than Jung-ho Kang. So, yeah, that's the Japanese front of things. Of course, Wei-Yin Chen recently. His agent, of course, is Scott Boras. He's Taiwanese. He's one of the more underrated starters in the game. He's been very solid and good with the Baltimore Orioles. He's commanding like 5 years, I think $75 million.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So the Mets, cannot waste this advantage they have. The pitchers that they have right now on the open market would at least be $15 million a year each, and they're controlling them all for under $1 million each, except for Harvey, of course, who's due a raise. So they've got to take that money and get some good hitting.
Yeah.
So who could they get besides Zobrist?
Of course, we can't forget about Rafael Montero.
And they've got Rafael Montero in the bullpen. Of course, Zach Wheeler, who's ready to come back from Tommy John in July.
He's their fifth ace.
That's right.
So
and they've got John Neese signed.
There's a lot of exciting things going on there. Of course, another lefty reliever out there to set up before Familia would be nice.
I'm surprised they let Jock Letterich go, who the Cubs took.
He had Tommy John surgery though.
He has, yeah, but he's pretty highly touted lefty. So we'll. But I think still the outfield is the number one consideration. They want a left-handed bat. They want a really good defender, and someone that maybe a platoon partner for the guy.
Span or Para.
Span or Para are the two most mentioned names.
Yeah, and along with Ben Zobrist, we'll see how everything plays out. And for the baseball side of things.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add for baseball?
Nope. I don't think we should go too late though, Jamie. It's a school night for you.
Yes, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We'll probably do another 10 minutes.
All right. What else do you want to talk about?
So, of course, we can. So, yeah, that's the baseball hot stove for you right now. Of course, it's a very exciting season of hot stove baseball, and we should see plenty more moves between now and our next broadcast, which will either be
we can update people.
Probably be the Sunday. Hopefully, there'll be at least one or two moves by then, and then maybe next week there'll be quite a few moves made. So, going into basketball now, of course, it's the basketball season right now. The Warriors, of course, are undefeated. That's a big story so far. But moving past that big hype that everyone's having around them, The Mavs are surprising. They won 6 consecutive, of course. They lost 3 immediately afterwards, but it's against very tough teams, the Grizzlies, the Spurs.
No, I think the biggest story besides the Warriors, Jamie's got to be
Kristaps Porzingis.
Friend Chris Porzingis.
Yes, he was booed by the Knicks. And
I mean, this guy is just amazing. If you guys have